So this is kind of last minute. I didn't really expect to do another video today because I ate my bistec de pollo a la plancha, and I had my rice and beans. It's literally gonna last me until tomorrow. So it's like a 3-day meal basically. I'm gonna make this bigger and brighter. I'm sorry if my hair looks like a hot mess. I was lying down and I was scrolling through Instagram, and then this is what got me thinking about another topic that I had on my list. Again, this is very impromptu. It's literally 11:20 p.m. at night, and so I wanted to come on here, and I don't know if anyone's gonna actually watch this video, but if you do, 5 years later, yay for you. As I said before, I am currently trying. I can't even really call dating apps dating. I don't think you can call it that until you like actually date somebody, like until you go out on a date. And it's so funny because like my mother, she like I used to get mad at her when she used to be like, that's not dating, like talking to someone on an app is a stranger. And I was trying to convince her that basically like, you know, it's almost like I consider a dating app, I'll say it. So first, I consider a dating app kind of like the introduction that you would never otherwise get somewhere else. Like for instance, like when I used to watch Seinfeld, the actual show Seinfeld, like with Jerry Seinfeld and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and oh my god, I can't remember, Jason Alexander. I was like, what's his name? And then the guy who plays Kramer. They depicted dating, I think, really well. Like when it was like in like the 80s or whatnot, or 90s, and it was very much like if you saw someone on the street, like at the vendor, like a hot dog stand or the bank or a restaurant or a bar, you know, a guy would go up to the girl and be like, hey, you know, can I buy you a drink or something like that, or I find you attractive. Now it's like I don't even know. So how about we start with like, I wanted to give my experience on dating apps. It's so oh my god. And the reason why I say this, so as I was scrolling through Instagram, there was actually a really funny, oh no, it went away. It went away. It was like literally, so there was a uh it was what's it called? It was like it was a Tinder dumpster truck, and it said, here you can throw your exes, the emotional baggage you had from your exes, like your memories, your the prizes, toys, whatever, gifts, and you put it. It was like a Tinder garbage truck, and I thought it was so funny. It was very cheeky. I don't know where this Tinder truck was, but it was a legit Tinder truck, and it would drive through town, and I wish I could have shown it. It was like on there. But I just thought it was really funny because I'm like, it got me thinking. I'm like, my experience with dating apps. So I first heard about Tinder when it was 2015 or 2016, and I was a child life specialist in the hospital, and the nurses had downloaded Tinder, and they were, I'll never forget, they were a group of nurses were, it was 2 or 3 nurses, they were in like this little break room, like on break, not a break room, it was actually like a side room where like we use for like patients and families to go like to just take a breather. Like a quiet room, I guess if you call it. And I just never forget, they were like scrolling, they're like, oh, what about this guy and this one? And I'm like, and I was kind of close to the nurses then, and I literally was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, whatever, so-and-so downloaded Tinder and we're going through it, and she's like, she might have a date tonight. And I'm like, oh my god. And at the time I was like, I don't know, I from what I understand, Tinder was like the hookup app. You know, it's notorious for being a hookup app. So yeah, like I'm even surprised myself that I'm on there. That initially, I was on the Tinder thing because I wanted to be adventurous sexually. I don't mind saying that. Part of the reason why I'm doing this vlog thing is because I wanted to give like real life, like credence to real life situations and scenarios in case there's like a girl out there who's in college and she's scrolling through her like YouTube feed, and all of a sudden, like, I try to do the hashtag so it will go to the content related to that topic, and I'm like, I wonder if, like, because you never know, like, I just wished I had someone to like listen to. Like, I was very into spirituality stuff, but like when I was growing up, but like sometimes I'm like, I wish I could have had someone, like, from a woman's perspective, explain like what does a first time feel like, how do you go about dating apps, what's porn like, all this stuff, right? And I'm a good girl, right? For the most part, I am a good girl. Like, I really don't do anything super. Porn is probably like the worst thing I've ever not done, viewed. I don't do porn. So yeah. But so dating apps, let's see, where do we start with that? There's several different types. There's like literally you go on your phone, I'm sure on Android, iPhone, there's like Tinder, there's probably the top ones are like Match, Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, I would say. There's also Plenty of Fish, there's JDate, there's Christian Mingle, there's eHarmony, there's, if you're gay, I think there's Grindr. I'm sure that there's a dating app. I actually, there's an idea I have. I'm not gonna give too much into it that I want to do. That I need like a software person or a techie person to do it. But I'm not gonna get too much into that. But it does deal with like dating and stuff. I just think it would be really cool to see it come to fruition. But anyways, yeah, there's several different types of dating apps. Some of them are for free, but you have limited features. Like on Tinder, if you don't subscribe, you can't do rewinds, you can't backtrack, you can't do things like super likes. Like there's this little star that you can like send and like somebody, like, super like you just basically are like, I'm super interested in you, that kind of thing. Yeah. So there's that. There's also, I forgot to mention the League. I actually was accepted into the League app, and I actually deleted it, surprisingly, because I didn't really find it. Like, they basically give you 3 matches, or not 3 matches, 3 profiles to view for free, and then now they have a feature where you can like someone's profile, but you have to pay to, like, see who likes you. But more often than not, they do have free versions, but you're kind of limited to what you can do. You can't see the people who like you, so you have to pay money for that. If you're a working professional, I will say that, like, I think it's like, if like it is worth investing in. Like, it put it this way, it's like the same thing. Like, if you want to get like this education, right? You're gonna pay to get quality education. You're gonna pay a tuition, right? It's kind of, you're gonna pay a fee. So I kind of look at it like the same thing. If you want to find a good quality man or woman, right? Whether you're straight, whatever your sexual orientation is, whatever your desires are, right? You have to put the money forth, right? If you do free versions, like I said, you're probably not going to be able to see who likes you. So, can I do this live? Am I allowed to? It doesn't have the person's last name. So this is Bumble. This is what it looks like. You're going to have a home page if no one's ever showed you. Can I show them? Well, this is a stranger. He doesn't know who about my page. He's kind of attractive though. Let's use this as an example, right? I'm not gonna say his name. Starts with the letter C. He looks Hispanic. He says he's 33. They put a thing. It says things you can bond over. Because literally, okay. So the reason why I'm doing this is legit. Like when I was 24, 23, I wasn't on dating apps. Even so, I wasn't really on dating apps until like I got to Philadelphia, and I was 29. I didn't do dating apps until I was 29. And I always wondered, I'm like, what do they look like? What's the process? So if you're someone and you're 20 years old, or maybe you're 19, 18, whatever, and you're like, what does Bumble look like? What's Tinder like? This is what it looks like. So we have this man here. I can't call him a gentleman. So he doesn't know who I am. And I'm probably not going to swipe on him. Like, and the reason why I'm not going to swipe on him, right? Let's actually do a profile analysis, right? The whys behind why I won't swipe on someone. He is attractive, I will say. He's giving like the Flynn Rider smolder, like the kind of, standing behind a waterfall kind of deal. But this is what it looks like. And then they basically put like here, can we zoom in and see this? Whoa, I'm really close to the camera, Jesus. They put their height. I do appreciate when people put their height, to be honest, because like I'm 5'6". On my driver's license it says I'm 5'5", but some women, there's an actual coworker I had where she did not want to date anyone under 6 feet because she wanted to date only tall people. I'm kind of like, if you're 5'8", 5'9", I'm like, as long as you're slightly taller than me, I'm okay. My thing is, if a guy can protect me from like crazy people, I'm good, I'm happy. So anyway, so it kind of, you can it says here like their characteristics, and it says like he's physically active, he's a Virgo, he drinks sometimes, he doesn't smoke, he is a man, right? He's not sure about children, he doesn't have kids, and he's spiritual. So those are kind of, I'm already like spiritual, okay. It says here what they're looking for. It says long-term relationship, fun casual dates, empathy, sassiness. He wants a sassy lady. I don't know if I can be sassy. I will be sassy if someone pisses me off, but generally speaking, I'm pretty nice. He's into yoga. Wow, he's in good shape. Now, the ever so popular gym pic, this is what does it. So for me, maybe other women like this, but for me, this reeks vanity to me. Like, I'm good looking, I have the abs. Because think about it, unless he's just really happy that, like, he's in good shape, but to me it reeks like I'm super good looking and I want you to notice my abs. Unless he's like, let's say maybe he was really obese before and overweight and he's like super proud of his physique. I don't know. We'll give him the benefit of. But now, interesting. This is interesting. He's into history, concerts, so he likes music, yoga, road trips, and environmentalism. I don't know. I'm intrigued now. This will be fun. It's come do live dating apps with me. Oh, no, this killed it. It killed it. Nope. It killed it. It said human rights, environmentalism, volunteering, and then we scroll down, and then we get this picture. We get the, hey, my tongue is sticking out of my mouth, and like cowabunga. I don't know what this means, cowabunga. I would have totally swiped on this dude if, maybe he's singing. He says, well, let me sing one of my favorite Incubus songs for you. Oh, see, that's pleasant. He's traveling. This is a good picture. This is what I wish men would notice. Good picture. I'm by a mountain. I'm traveling. I accomplished something. I have a smile on my face. When men don't, by the way, if you're a woman and you're watching this, if the man doesn't smile, run. Because he's going to be either like a dead bug, like a person, like a, what's a word? Like devoid of personality. I'm very big on personality. If a man doesn't have personality, I don't want to, whatever. Okay, so he's outside. It's sad because he's kind of attractive. He's in Lake Placid, New York. He's like looking, these are pleasant photos, I will say. But this one kind of like, I don't know. Lake Placid, New York, I don't really know where that is. I don't know. I'm not gonna, this is a yes here, that picture. That's a no. I'm not crazy about that picture. So he's gonna get a, so what happens is if you don't like someone, so when you swipe right, that means it's a yes, you like someone. When you swipe left, it's a no. So he's a no. I'm assuming this guy likes to do cosplay, which is when you dress up in, like, and I kind of admire that. He's a little bit more rotund, right? But before I go into this, I wanted to navigate. So the profile picture is there, and like I said, you can leave compliments with these little hearts here. Like, send a compliment. I'm doing like a PSA for Bumble, right? You have your bio here. Some people do a bio, some people don't. I think a bio is a very good one that, like, okay, let's do it. I think a bio is a great way to get insight into, like, the guys, like, you're literally given, I don't know, 100 characters, like, in your, like, the thing to basically write what, like, about you. He says, I like music and games, definitely want to hear your playlists. Simple dates are ideal. So let's grab a coffee or find a museum to go to. He's agnostic. This is in the little descriptions. He's 6'1", so he's tall. He works out sometimes. I will say, though, he seems adventurous. So he's into LGBTQI rights. I appreciate that, but I always, that kind of like, here's the thing. So, and I don't discriminate against people if they're into, like it says right here, LGBTQI rights. That kind of tells me that he can possibly be bisexual, or maybe he has family. I don't. If you have family members that are whatever gay, I have no problem with that. But what I run into, I've noticed, is that men, I think, have been dishonest with me about their sexuality, and they don't mention that they've had previous. And I know that's personal, but like when you're dating someone, you want to disclose your sexual orientation. Like I'm assuming people assume that they're straight, automatically, but. But let's see. He likes video games, LGBTQI rights, coffee hopping, board games. Okay, his causes, he's interested in trans rights, disability rights, human rights. So I don't know if he's trans. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna say so, and this is so okay. So interesting, right? This is so you people, if you're a man and you're watching this, you get a insight into the female perspective and psyche. This, I like the fact that he has a cat, but the fact that he's a little bit more overweight. First of all, being someone who I've worked in healthcare, and I used to work in like physical fitness, like health and wellness. I taught yoga and I did dance and stuff like that. I will say that someone who's a little bit more has meat, not like I'm okay, like if you're a little pudgy, like you have a little bit more meat, you're like a teddy bear, I don't mind. But if you're like severely overweight, like where you can have a heart attack, I probably won't want to date you. Not because of the look, but because it's not healthy. Like it's literally not healthy, you know. So I don't want to, and then let's say I want to have something that maybe not so health, like if I want to eat a cookie or a cake or something, and then I would be very, if I dated someone that was a little bit more overweight, I would be worried about them because I would be scared. Like I literally had family members who she had to have, I don't know if it was bypass surgery, like coronary bypass, or like she had to have a surgery for her heart because her cardio pulmonary system was not working effectively. Her heart was working at almost like 10% capacity. Like it was very weak because she had so much fat tissue like around her. So I will say though, I do like that he has a cat and he isn't close by, but I will say the overweight is unfortunate. He has good taste in music. I mean, I don't know some of these people though. He listens to Kendrick Lamar. It's sad because, well, I would say, yeah, so the LGBTQI thing, I wonder, I go, if he's into trans rights, like, that makes me think, unless he has a family member that's gay or whatever, which, I don't know. Like, if I were to, let's say I did swipe on him, I would ask, like, oh, you're into trans rights, like, what makes you, why? Like, is there, like, a reason, or is it a social justice cause, or something like that? But I am going to say no, so when you swipe again, you swipe left. I have yet to meet someone I would swipe right on. This is a good picture. I like this. I always say if your smile reaches your eyes, that means it's genuine. Like, this is a happy smile, but when your smile reaches your eyes, it's like palpable, it's attractive. So let's see, he's 38, he's into yoga. It looks like he's eating a birthday cake. It's a fruit cake. I don't know if he's an actual fruit cake. It says, I'm an outdoors, he wrote a lot for his bio. I appreciate guys who write in the bio. If you don't have a bio, I don't like on Tinder or anything, I don't bother, because that means you're not interested in someone to getting to know you for you. There's a lot of guys too, I've noticed, they put their IG handle, like their Instagram handle. Don't understand this process. I don't know if they're trying to gain followers on Instagram by putting themselves on a dating app. I don't understand it. That's like if I started this YouTube channel. That's like if I put in a profile at Coffee and Cuppies. Like, no. So anyways, okay, here we go. I'm an outdoors man, mountain biking, hiking, kayaking, working out, and skiing. That's a thumbs up. That means he's physically active. He likes to take care of his body. He engages in activities, right? Music lover, check. He says 420 friendly, foodie, wine and whiskey lover. If he hadn't put 420 friendly, I would have definitely considered, okay, here we go. I'm looking for ethical non-monogamy. I'm not interested in that. So you get kind of, in this picture, I don't know, I'm kind of not crazy about that. He looks like he's going to fall off the boat, and it looks like he's going to give birth to a baby. That's not really an attractive picture. That's a cool picture. He's steering the boat. Guys who wear their hats backward. When I grew up, my dad used to say that guys who wear their hats backwards, he used to say they have their head on backwards, and they need to get their head on screwed straight. So, yeah. Maybe I'm too picky. I don't know. So he's a real nerd about technology, wine, and food. There's pictures of children in here, so I don't really want to show that for the sake of, whatever. And some other lady. I don't know who this lady is. There's some other person. But he's an Underhill. I'm going to say this is a no, because it's sad. It's frustrating, though, because he is into yoga, meditation, concerts, music. He's Jewish, which is cool. It says, fan of being present, meditation, eating healthy. I own and operate my own business. I work and play hard. Want a primary poly partnership that mutually enhances both our lives. That will be a negatory. Bye-bye. Let's see if we can get one right swipe on here. Reed, he's a Christian. Conservative. Let me wear my Marlboro tracksuit See, this is automatically, that's a no. That's a sucky. I'm not gonna even go past that. So anyways, this is a no. Just, I can't even see his eyes. And there's fire in the thing. That's a no. I'm gonna pause it for a second there. But that's Bumble, right? You do have your profile here. This is my profile here. That's me. That's like that was a professional headshot I took, I think on my computer, right? Yeah, so, and I was very candid about, like, I put that I'm in a bit of a transition period, but I put looking to have quality connections and date with intention. I value monogamy, honesty, and authenticity. I also may be moving soon. I don't know. I'm trying to manifest moving. I'm trying to manifest moving, right? Because that or maybe going abroad, even though I really don't have the funds to be able to do it, but I'm actually considering maybe, which sounds crazy because I never was considering Asia at all, but I am considering maybe, like, there was a video just now I was looking on Instagram. She went to Seoul, Korea, and Japan. I was considering Spain before, just because, like, I do speak some Spanish, and I think it'll remind me of Miami a little bit. But yeah, there's Spain and the UK. I'm not really, I think it's very hustle bustle, unless I live, like, in the countryside, which, I don't know. I don't think that would be feasible for me. Yeah, in Italy, I really don't know. Italy's like to me, like a honeymoon destination. Like so I don't really, yeah. So, but that's me. This is my profile. That's an older picture. But I kind of do look the same, except I don't have the red lipstick. So, it's very red lipstick. That was when I was working as a serve at the time, and my hair was super short. It was, like, literally up to there. Now my hair is longer. So, anyways, but I put, like, I liked baked goods, Black Lives Matter, disability rights, human rights, because yes, all of those things. And then I love animals, so I have my dog of my Bonnie, and then this, like, statue of a bear when I went to Washington, D.C., and then this one is another one of my dog Bonnie and I. And then of a horse, because I did go horseback riding in Pennsylvania. So that's my thing. But anyway, so that's your profile. So for anyone who's ever interested in dating apps, this is what it looks like. I'm not paying for any subscription or whatnot, but if you do, it would show up there, and the people are here. They do have this new feature that I do like. It's called Discover, and basically, they kind of show these highlighted, profiles. If I was subscribed, the people I like, or that like me, would show up here. So, yeah, I'm not going to subscribe to that because I can't afford it. Sometimes they'll treat you and be like, they'll do a nice thing and they're like, here, I'll give you a day, 24 hours for $2.99, or I'll give you a week's worth of access to whatever for $7. I don't know. But that's Bumble. Then there's also Tinder. Then there's also Hinge. The League, I just deleted that today because I had one match with one guy, but I'm pretty sure he was gay. And he told me he was straight, but I'm pretty sure he was gay or bisexual. And what's really frustrating, and I don't know if this is going to be a 2-for-1 kind of situation, like how to deal with, like, if you're a straight woman, like, is it okay to date? It's okay to date whoever you want, but, like, if you're straight, will it work out with a bisexual guy? Like, does that work? Maybe I'll get into that later. But I wanted to mainly talk about dating apps in terms of, like, how they work, and that was a little preview into that world, but I'll go more into it. But my experience with dating apps so far, can't say it was horrible. It is easy, I think, sometimes to get dejected. It's a very unforgiving environment and space. Why do I say that? The connections are very transient, meaning, like, some of them come and go, right? When you think of something that's short-lived or transient, it doesn't stay, it doesn't stick long. So, you might I don't know, you might match with someone one day and then they won't write back until 3 days later, and then you tell yourself, are you too strict? Are you being too high maintenance by saying that's wrong? I will say this, and this is someone, if you've ever been on a dating app, you'll understand this. If you genuinely want to date someone with intention, right? You're looking for to have a formidable, fulfilling, meaningful relationship with somebody, not just like, oh, they're hot, I'll screw them. And some people do that. Like, I was in a stage like a year ago where I was like, I just want to have sex, but I want it to be fun. and tasteful, and because I was 32 or whatever, and I hadn't had sex, and I just wanted to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, so to speak. So I did the dating apps because I will say, if you have more loose boundaries and like morals, it will be a lot easier to match with people, because there's a lot of people on there who are looking for intimacy without commitment, or like a very casual thing, or they're already partnered and they want like another partner, they're in an open relationship or whatever. I don't want to knock that when I say that, because I haven't tried it, but I was raised to be in a monogamous, like that's what I was raised, so I want to stick to that. Even if the world around me and every single guy's like, but I want to date my whatever, and I want to have my marriage, and also, some people, I realize, I think they're also married because for convenience. I've heard stories about people who want to break up with their partner, divorce them, but they have kids, or they have assets, or like maybe they own a business together, and it would be hard, like, when you're married, you're legally tied to somebody, and sometimes people make arrangements where they stay married, but they date separately, and it becomes a civil, like a common law marriage. It's not for love, it's for civil purposes. So to each his own. I can't speak too much on marriage. I haven't been married, knock on wood, unless I was fraudulently married, like someone married me fraudulently. I don't know. There are things like that where people will marry someone fraudulently for money, for scams and whatnot. Anyways, back to dating apps. So my experience so far, I can't really say it's horrible. I would say, like anything, do your homework. You have to be mindful. You're literally talking here's the other thing, like you're talking to strangers, right? Anybody could be anybody. Someone could literally get profile pictures from Google and be like, this is their, and that's where catfishing comes from. Like literally a show, was it called Catfish? What's it called? Was it called Catfish? It's with Nile. It was on MTV. Hold on. Catfish. Nile? Or Neil? Nev. That's his Nev. Nev Schulman. He actually was on Dancing with the Stars. He was like the host of it. This guy, Nev Schulman. He was the one who would they would go and they would like bust the catfish situation. Because some people, when you think about it, this is where you have to mature. You have to have maturity and emotional intelligence. If you go on an app, you have to realize you are talking to a stranger. Now, if we go, I like to use the Seinfeld example because it just, they talked a lot about dating in that day and age and whatnot, and I think it did depict what dating was like in the 80s in New York City, Manhattan, whatever. So, the same way, like if you'd go up to someone at a gym or the grocery store, pharmacy, the bar, that person's a stranger too. And I once tried to explain this to my mother because she's like, you're meeting strangers. And I'm like, but it's the same thing. If I went to like a dance class and I danced with a dance partner, I just know that he likes to dance or he's interested in dancing for whatever reason. It's the same thing. It's just I look at that as a platform to initiate contact with another human being. So that's just my take on it. But you are talking to strangers, right? Anybody could be anybody. I've dealt with situations literally where I've had men come up to my door and they were not the person that I was talking with. I just know it 100%. They looked slightly different, and I can't be the crazy person like, you're not who you say you are. Excuse me, I'm gonna get really quickly some cookies. Then we'll really make a coffee and cuppies. I'm gonna make really quickly a glass of café con leche, and you know what? I'll bring my computer. This is gonna be kind of like an impromptu kind of like, join me and I'm gonna blow this candle out because these are new candles I just got from Amazon. This was actually going to be used for someone that was going to come over today, but then I said no to because I'm pretty sure he was lying about his marital status. So, yeah. I got candles because we were talking about trying to make the mood more seductive or whatever. Anyways, moving on. I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to get my, my cookies from Tate's. I was gonna make cookies today. I was gonna do a baits. Oh my god. I meant to say Tate's and I said baits. My brain, bro. Okay, so, oh, you're like, lazy Susan is like going all over the place. Okay. I also need to clean my kitchen because it looks like a hot mess. So these are Tate's. First time I tried them, they're gluten-free. My dog, Bonnie's like peering out. She's like, oh, she's like, food? She's like, what is this? I guess this will be like a vlog kind of situation, but we're talking about dating apps a little bit more informal versus me sitting down and talking about stuff. But I am going to, this is my dessert for the evening. I do love sweets. I am someone, I think till I'm 40, 50, 60 years old, I will always be the kind of person that loves dessert and sweets and stuff. That's just my personality. And, you know, they say, like, you are what you eat. So I'm like, I'm sweet. So other people, men that I've decided to dump like a hot potato, they'll probably beg to differ and say I'm too high maintenance and my standards are too picky and, you know, I'm hard to love. But I like to say I just got harder to manipulate. So, yeah. I'm going to take a swig of this. What do you want, baby? I'm going to give you water, though. I'm going to give my dog water. Really quickly. Here you go. Okie dokie, okie. And you know what? I think I'm going to organize. I'm going to multitask. I think I'm going to have to put my headphones on really quickly. Okay, here we go. They were charging, but hopefully they'll connect. I don't know. Nothing's happening. I don't know. Usually there's like a ding. When they connect, it usually goes like, okay. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try it again. I have a feeling they need to be charged. So we will say no to that one. Put this away. I'm going to get my glass. So, as I think I said before, I realized recently that I think I'm lactose intolerant. Because, and also too, I don't know if I'm allergic to certain things, like my tongue, I notice when I have certain juices or foods, my tongue will literally, like, I get like a little, like it's irritated, that's the word. Like it gets a little swollen, like a little bump on my tongue. They're called fungiform, papillae, or papillae, something like that. But I'm going to turn this off really soon. This is dog. So, dating apps. Let's multitask while I do this. In true coffee and cuppies fashion, right? Because I realized I said that I would be eating like cupcakes and coffee and stuff, and I'm not. So I want to stay true. I don't want to be hypocritical. So I have cookies in here. They're very crispy. I will say they are kind of expensive, and it doesn't come with a lot, but that's, you know, you're getting high quality cookies, gluten free, you know. Oh my god, oh god, this means I'm gonna be up for a while now. Because if I have coffee, this is why I do feel sometimes like the Latino, like Miami 305 comes out. Because I'm telling you, you go to Miami right now, you go to Calle Ocho at almost midnight, things are gonna happen, you know. People are eating in Cafe Versailles, they're, you know, smoking Cuban cigars and who knows what else. I'm going to use this cup. I got this cup at Anthropology several years ago. It has an A on it, see, Anthropology. It's one of my favorite things. So I was craving milk and cookies. So, right? My two favorite things. Oh no, cupcakes. This is where I make my coffee. I hope it still tastes good. This is kind of older. No, it tastes good. It's good. Yeah, I put a little bit too much sugar in it after I made it. Do the whole thing. Mind you, my dishes are still in there, and I'm not going to show that because they look like a hot mess. Whenever I drink milk too, I have this phlegm that accumulates as well. So, okay, no, this was. I'm like, why am I going to the fridge? I was trying to put this away. So, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, catfishing. I literally have, I think, been a victim to that. You know, where I actually, the people who covering my chicken, I made bistec de pollo a la plancha with arroz blanco and frijoles negros. But I really do think the people that, excuse me, I have met people who, and I can't understand the life of me why anyone would do that to somebody. Like, why would you pretend to be somebody else? You know, unless you're hiding a relationship. Like, I would never be able to take on a different name or, like, take someone else's identity and, like, pretend to be them. Like, I can't do that. Like, I would feel so guilty. I can't ever, like, I just would feel guilty, period. Of, like, I can't lie for shit. I wish I could, you know, be able to lie and stuff. I can't. I just don't. I would turn as red as a tomato, and I can't do that to someone. So. Okay, that is done. We're gonna put this here. I'm going to move this over here. Okay. I think I might take another sip of this. I'm going to be overloaded on sugar right now. I literally have Coca-Cola and my café con leche. So, not bigger. No, that's done. Bonnie thinks that there's food. There is food, but it's morsels. No, I'm not giving you beans, baby. What? She thinks that she's going to have Coca-Cola. She's giving me these puppy dog eyes that are just like, give me food. Oh, you want the cookie? Oh, you're smelling the cookies? Oh, you funny lady. You want the cookies. So if I do give my dog a little bit of a cookie, I try to avoid the chocolate part, but she likes the dough part. She's giving me these eyes. She's like, you better give me cookies. So I'm going to, can I triple hand this? I can go back to my server days and do this kind of situation. So when you're a server, you learn how to hold things. Like you go here, and then you hold this. I'm going to hold like this, and then I'm going to get this. Okay, let's move over here, please. So I'm literally like multitasking as I do this. I'll plop this here. I feel like I'm serving myself my things while I discuss dating apps. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on, baby. Okay, I think that's decent. I don't want to knock over my thing. Okay, so what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Okay, dating apps, that's what I was talking about. That I know about catfishing. So that you are, because you are basically talking to like anybody could be anybody on the internet, you have to be very careful because there are creepy people and pervy people who will take advantage of you. They will tell you, I've learned the hard way with certain men, that they will tell you everything that you want to hear. You know, and they will act like these perfect gentlemen. And then they will, there's like milk chocolate in there. Hey, baby. Then you will be taken for a ride and a loop. Also, I also learned never get in the car with someone that, even if they offer you a ride, say no because you don't know them yet. And trafficking is a really prevalent thing. not to scare people, but, you know, trafficking is something that exists, and they come in all shapes and sizes, and you can think you meet a dreamboat of a man, and that person can actually maybe be a groomer, handler, or trafficker. I'm not kidding. So, it has a swirl. I use the cookie to stir the milk with the coffee, and now it's like a little swirl. This is really good. This is like bakery style cookie. So, no! This is why I need a paper towel. Tide rescue. I need Tide rescue stain. Ruby. Thank you. This is why I was always taught, like growing up, Tide rescue. To not eat over, like on your bed and stuff. I remember growing up, my mom was such a stickler for that. She was like, never eat anything in your room. And then I grew up and I'm an adult and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat pasta. And oh, Bonnie wants to jump on the bed because she wants a cookie. Give her no. I'll give it to you from the side. So instead of coffee and cupcakes, it's coffee and cookies. But I will give you some in a second again. Hold on. I'm sorry. Now I need to get to my topic of what I was going to discuss. I don't think people want to watch like some 33-year-old girl and not eating cookies. Unless they're bored. I don't know. These little crumbs. I'm like a little mouse. These little crumbs fell. I might get another cookie. That would be 3 cookies though. So, side note, when I was like 12 years old or 14 or something, my mom was like on the phone, and we went to Publix and we got a bunch of Oreos. Not a bunch, but like we got a packet, and it was like the family size or whatever. And I'll never forget, I think I ate like 14 Oreos in one sitting. How my mom didn't notice, I don't know. She was on the home phone. When you had, remember when we used to have home phones and there was like a cord and like it was a landline. So she would be on the phone and I was just like, cookies. Because I love cookies. I was literally raised like, oh, cookies. If I could have like a bake shop food truck and like do like volunteering, like giving to like food to homeless people, but also like make a profit for like other people, like paying customers, I would totally do that. So anyways, what was I saying? Don't go in the car even if they offer you like, oh, I'll pick you up, whatever. No, you walk that bitch. You walk to wherever it is, or get an Uber or get a Lyft. For me, it's walking. Maybe for you, if you live in a city or whatever, you can take a bus or a subway. And if he says, oh, I'll take you home, have a plan. Also, little tidbits about dating. I know this is going to get side thing. I know I'm talking about dating apps, but so it's meant to be a casual discussion, this whole coffee and cuppies thing. So if I go on a side tangent, forgive me, but that's what it's supposed to be about. I highly recommend that if you are trying to date with intention and you want like a long-term whatever relationship, I try not to put too much pressure, because there's so like when you go on a date with someone, even if it's like on a dating app, and like there's just so much pressure. Like you're both sitting there, you're sitting across from each other, you're trying to assess and see if there's compatibility. The conversation can like lull or whatever, and it's awkward, and you both know that like you want like a partnership, but you're like, do they fit the bill? Are they going to be whatever? So I suggest, like, sometimes I like to say I'd rather do an activity with someone than like sit down somewhere, you know, and have like, because it feels like an interview sometimes. It feels very sterile, like, and you know, I don't know, just that's my 2 cents. But if you are trying to date with intention, I recommend you meet in the daytime for like coffee, or you grab lunch somewhere, Now, if you're not trying, like, well, anyway, like, even, well, dating with intention, what I mean by that is that you're dating with the intent to marry, right? That's why we date, right? We date because we want to find a long-term partner or whatever. So, I gave you a piece, Faber. Bonnie's like, I gave you the piece. I hate it when she does this. She's giving me these eyes. She gives me these eyes, and she's like, please, give me the cookie. But I can't give her chocolate. I can't give you chocolate, Berber. I can't give her chocolate because that's like poison to dogs. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to stay focused. So if you're looking to date with intention and you really want to meet somebody, I highly suggest you meet them for coffee. You do something in the daytime, because nighttime is more, not risque, it's the nighttime, right? Like it's more like like seductive, right? Because and then if you, like, let's say they do drive you back by whatever, let's say you have no choice and they drive you back in the car or whatever, then you're going to be at your doorstep and you're going to be at your home, your apartment, whatever. And if you're not disciplined and you don't have self-restraint, you could end up in a messy situation. Are you giving me kisses? I don't have any more. I'm sorry, she wants like more cookies. Okay, fine, I'll get one more cookie, but that's it. Excuse me, hold on. I get one more. I know you're excited about the cookie. Okay, I know. Thank you. Yes. She's all excited now because she's like, oh, I'm gonna have a cookie. Let me move this over here. I have all my cards from the spiritual reading from earlier today. I'm full. Holy moly cannolis. Okay, this dog, oh my god. She's literally like, you are so funny. Okay, look. She's like, cookies. You're not eating the whole cookie, silly. I'm just giving you like a little piece. Un pesado chiquitico. Okay, we're putting this in here. It's just one cookie, River. That's it. We're not going to do... Oh, you know what? Let me use to keep them fresh, I put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I put them back in the... I don't know if I'll get these again. I like to rotate. I like to try new stuff. I like to get the bakery stuff, too. Hold on. I know, baby. I know you want stars of cookie. Hold on. Ay, ay, ay. Coño. Okay. I'm back. So. Okay, here. Ready? I have to bite into it. Okay, here we go. That's it. No more. No more after that, baby. This is why I'm such a sucker for... And if anyone comes at me like, oh, don't give her dog a cookie, I don't give her the chocolate part. I give her... I noticed, like, today I was reading the comments and one lady was like, she doesn't like the mat. Remove it. And I'm like, well, you can't be so mean. I told her very nicely in the comments. I was like, if you're going to say something, say it nicely. She was like, remove it. I'm like, who are you? Like, I have to be like the YouTube police. Anyways, okay. So what was I saying? Yes, so if you're dating with intention, meet someone in the daytime. If you're looking for like more of a casual, friends with benefits, whatever, you know, wherever floats your boat. Maybe, yeah, you can meet at night. Just be mindful because nighttime is like sexy time, so I'm just being honest, you know. For me, I'd rather like do a fun activity with someone, like go play mini golf, or movies are kind of, you know, they can kind of, you're in the dark, you know, you're sitting next to someone, they could like put their hand on your thigh, you can put your head on like, you know, whatever. I don't know. That's a breeding ground for physical touch. I would be very careful with that. But if that's what you're looking for, then whatever, you know. But yeah, be very careful. First, like, let's go from the beginning. So let's say you match with someone. First of all, review their profile before you do that. I've made the mistake of like swiping on people, and then after, like, I remember very distinctly, oh, this guy got really upset. There was a guy in Philadelphia. I had swiped right on him, and he seemed like a really cool guy, but I overlooked the fact that he smoked cigarettes, because he put, you know, like, he had put, so I don't remember what he put, and then I had told him after that I had apologized, and I said, I was a lot, when I first got into the dating app scene, I was too nice. I was like, I always gave an explanation as to, like, if I was going to unmatch from somebody, I would be like, I'm so sorry, but, like, I've noticed that we are lacking conversation. I would go into a whole soliloquy of, like, you know, I felt the chemistry, I liked everything you had on your profile, but it almost sounds like you're, like, a job, you know, like, letter where you're like, thank you, but no thank you, you know. And I yeah, I told him like, I'm not really interested or something like that. I didn't realize that you put smoking on your profile. And he's like, oh, well, that shouldn't be a reason why you unmatch from someone. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm really sensitive to certain smells, and I don't like the way that cigarette smoke smells, you know. And he's like, oh, well, I'm trying to work on stopping. And I was like, okay. I was like, that's great for you. And, like, you know, you want to jump up here? Bonnie wants to jump up here. Okay. I'll probably, oh, because you want the cookies. Put this here. Hold on, let me grab. Okay, I'm gonna help you with your home. Right. So yeah, just make sure you look at their profile before you swipe right on them, because you can, like, end up, you know, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, you don't want to judge anybody, everyone's on their own journey. But that's another tidbit. So yeah, don't get in someone's car. If you want to date with intention, start off with a day date, and then do maybe a evening date later on. Also, I do here's some tips in terms of dating apps, which I wish there was. I didn't match with anyone yet on there, so I wish there was someone I could show that was a match. So far I'm just swiping. But if there was a match, there's in the top, when you match with someone on the chat, in the top right hand corner, there's like what are you licking your feet for? What are you biting your foot for? Don't do that, baby. There's a little telephone in the top right corner, and there's a video camera, like, and those are to signify FaceTime and phone calls, which I feel grateful that they offer that as an option in the apps, because you know, you don't want to, I will say, you don't want to, it's hard. This is talking about giving out the phone number, right? I think I mentioned in my morning blog earlier today, like, there's some people are against giving your phone number out to someone on a dating app because it might seem too soon or whatnot, but I think, like, there's different ways to go about it. You have already a messaging service within the app. I think once you've met someone, then that's okay. If you think, okay, this is a connection I want to foster and cultivate, then maybe you give your number. I have been in a situation where I've had really good rapport with someone in the app, and they go, oh, do you want to take this conversation off the app? And, you know, I'd rather just do that versus having to go back and forth in an app and check messages. Moving forward, I probably... Stop. Oh. Are you going to sneeze? I thought you were going to sneeze. Moving forward, I have decided I probably won't give my number out to somebody right away, just because, like, for safety reasons, and just also too, I've noticed in the most recent interaction I had with somebody, that, why are you covering your face? What are you doing? What are you doing? I wish, can I record this? I don't know what she was doing. She was like covering her face with her paws. I don't know what she was doing. Anyways, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, the most recent interaction I had, it was going so well that we were like on the phone for like a long time. And the chemistry was definitely there, like, for sure. The attractiveness, like, it was very, like, you know, things transpired virtually, let's just put it that way. And I look back and I kind of regret that, to be honest, because, and mind you, I will say though that the vibes, that's a tricky thing, because when the vibes are there, do you go with it? Like, do you, but now I'm not talking to him because I realized, I was like, you know what, I think, again, I'm a card reader, so I picked up on some things, and I was like, I don't think he's being that forthright with me about some stuff, so I decided to kind of cut that off and end that. But even before that, I think from now on, moving forward, I won't give my number out to somebody unless I've met them in person and we've done, I kindly encourage you, if you're on a dating app and you're, even if you're looking for a casual, let's say you're like, oh, but I don't want a relationship, I just want to like have casual sex or just a casual interaction, like I'll date, but I don't want this super exclusive, like serious, all that stuff, right? I highly encourage you to still keep your standards and have respect for yourself and go through the vetting process. Like, talk to them through the app, and if they don't want to do that, then guess what? Unmatch. Like, that might be something hard, and then you might be like, but I'm alone again. Like, right now, I'm like, I don't have any matches, and I'm like, does that detract from, like, is that a bad thing? No, it's not. It's not a bad thing. It just means that there's no one right now that's a good, a prospective, suitor or whatever. So yeah, I just went on the Tinder to show Tinder and just to show that situation. So anyways, where was I? Yeah, regardless, I recommend you go through the process of talking to them through the app itself. Don't give your number out until you've met them. If you're dating with intention and you want like a long, like you really, or even if you're dating casually, like meet someone. I actually met someone when I was doing Tinder and I was back in Virginia. I met him at Cheesecake Factory, and he paid for my meal. I was very grateful for that. And we were actually talking about friends with benefits. We weren't even, because he was separated from his wife at the time. Allegedly, who knows? He could have been a catfish too. Did you give me your paw? Were you saying thank you? She just gave me her paw, like, meow. What? Why are you looking at me so serious like that? Why? Did you like your cookie? Is that a good cookie? What? No, I don't. I'm not giving you any more cookie. If I had enough sugar, then she had enough sugar. What? She put her paw on my leg. I have a very intuitive, perceptive dog. She put her paw on my leg. My eyeball. Yeah. What? Your tail is wagging. Why is your tail wagging? Why is your tail wagging? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? I know, she's like, Mommy, but I want something. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Dating apps, that's what we're talking about, right? Dating app tips. All things dating apps. Where else did I want to go? So yeah, talk to them through the app first. What do you think? Don't go in their car, like I said, right away. I will say, when you do OfferUp and stuff and you do Facebook Marketplace, they say to like meet somewhere where there's cameras and like you're close to a police station, because you never know what could happen. I do think it's a good idea. Go somewhere has a lot of people. There's a lot of foot traffic, right? And there's security and stuff like that, because a good example of what not to do. So thank goodness I had coworkers who were kind of like the voice of reason. When I was living in Philadelphia, I had matched with a guy, and he said, why don't we go walk along the river to plan out for a date at nighttime? He's like, it'll be really romantic. And the Schuylkill River, it's a very long winding path. It is well lit. It does have like overhead lampposts and like street lights, but it's not like, if you think at nighttime, that's not really that safe. What are you doing? Are you stretching? It's not really that safe because it's dark and there's no, it might have been empty, right? That would have been probably like a serial killer's, not a serial killer's, but like a creeper's paradise, right? You go on a dating app. I mean, look at the people that you hear about. They go running, right? Like they go for a run and then they get kidnapped and murdered. Like there was, I think, recently the act was passed where there was the Lakin, was her name Lakin Riley? There was an illegal immigrant that like basically, or something where he like attacked her or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he was on the, it's something. Anyways, whatever. Illegal immigrant or not, it was somebody with bad intentions. What? They hurt the girl. They actually like, he murdered her. What do you want? What? I'm not giving you coffee. Okay. She's licking my face. I love you too. We're gonna go to bed soon, I promise. Why are you looking at me like that? So, I'm sorry, this is a very like disorganized video, but like this is coffees and cuppies. That's what it's supposed to be. Authentic and organic and not scripted. Super sweet. I'm not putting as much sugar next time. But yeah, so I didn't, so my coworkers were like, I think you should go to like a coffee shop or something, like, you know, don't go like walking along a river with a stranger, you know. And mind you, during the whole date, he was actually, like, I forgot where we met. I don't remember where we met. I don't know if it was in the street corner by my apartment. I think it was like somewhere near my apartment building. Like I crossed the street and he was on the other side of the street, and then we walked to like the main downtown area, and we went to like I forgot the name of the street. It's a very busy thoroughfare over there. Anyways, so we had coffee. He actually, and I ended up paying for it because he said that he didn't have his credit cards. So, you know, and I think he was a lot younger than what he said he was. So that was an interesting date. That's what I say, you know, when you talk to someone, really talk to someone, at least for a week before you, like, make plans. And if a guy goes, oh, that's too long, just trust me, like, it'll help you in the long run, because... Are you giving me kisses? Are you giving me kisses? It'll help you in the long run, because what's going to happen is that through that communication, you're going to learn about the person, right? You're going to learn, are they very like thrifty? Do they like to spend a lot of money? Or are they more frugal? What are their political views? How were they raised? What are their main core values? Like basic like surface level stuff, but like you'll get to know a little bit more about them if you talk to them more, versus like you're like, hey, you know, because some guys are like, I don't want to talk on the app. Can we just like meet, whatever? And from now on, I'm not going to do that. And that's going to be, you know, some guys might be like, that's too much work. She's so whatever. And I'm going to be like, well, you're not the right one. I don't want to talk to you. I'm very old school. It's funny if like you look at me and you're like, I'm very prim and very proper. I am classy. Like I said, what happens in the bedroom is like my business. And I don't have like an alter ego like when it comes to sexy time. But I will say I am kind of different in that respect. But generally speaking, I do hold a certain standard of like decorum and like modesty when it comes to like, and chivalry, like when you're getting to know somebody. Thank you. Are you giving me kisses? This is what I mean by emotional support dog. She gives me kisses because she knows I like them. Thank you. So yeah. I think what I've covered so far is like, if you're dating with intention, meet them in the daytime, don't get in their car, vet them. There is an app called Spill the Tea, I think, or Tea or something like that, and you have to pay a subscription though, and then basically it's ran by women for women, and it's like basically all the juicy like gossip about different men that are like in the area. I don't know who created it, but it's pretty ingenious. And then they put like whether there's green flags or red flags, and you know, they give you the scoop, the 411 on the dude. There was one guy I remember on his thing, it said like he was notorious for like just stringing you along and having like multiple connections and being very like elusive and love bombing, and yeah, so If you're interested, it's called, let's see, I used to have it and I deleted it. Let's see where T-snap? Spill the tea? It's called Dating Tools for Women. This is what it looks like. I just deleted it because you do, I think, need a subscription. Thank you for your kisses. It got a 4.8 though, rating. So it's well vetted. She's licking my armpit. I'm sorry. She's licking my armpit. No, don't lick my armpit. This is my, I love her to pieces. I love you to pieces. I'm sorry. This is not what I'm gonna get back to the topic at hand. So, going again by my experience of dating apps, I try to go at it with an open mind. You have to, it does build thick skin, because there are men that will literally match with you and then they will never write you. So Bumble was initially meant for the woman to initiate the contact, right? That's why what the premise of Bumble was. It was like putting the power back into the woman's hands, right? Versus a woman getting bombarded with a bunch of, things from men, right? Like unwanted advances and, right? Trying to coax a woman to do whatever with them. So now I think they've changed it where the man can actually initiate contact. And so I've had it where I've literally matched with a bunch of people, right? And I'm like, oh my God, yay, prospects. I'm like, maybe, and then you, I'm waiting and I'm like, okay, let's see. I'm going to see what's going to happen. And then nothing. Literally nothing. Like, you match with them and it says, yay, it's a match. And boop. On Tinder, it goes, yay, it's a match. And these little green hearts come up. On Bumble, it's more, I can't remember what happens. It just says, like, you swipe and it has, like, a check mark. And then they show up on your, like, the top part of your conversation page. And then she's giving me more kisses. She's kissing my leg. I don't know, maybe my legs are salty or something. I don't know. Maybe, or unless she's just showing me affection. She does this a lot. She licks my armpit, she licks my back, but she's licking my leg. So anyways, yeah, so that will show up in the top corner. And then I've had it where they do have a thing now where it says opening move, and I'm highlighting Bumble because I feel like that's one of the ones. It's like a cross between like Hinge and Tinder. Like you get a hodgepodge, a mix of people with different intentions. But what? ¿Qué tú quieres? What do you want? What? I'm not giving you any more cookies, baby. That'll be too much sugar. So, yeah, so, hey. I'm sorry, this is very, like, disorganized. But it's late night, whatever. Late night talk time. Late night talk time. So yeah, sometimes you'll match with someone and they won't even write you. Like, maybe they're waiting for the woman to write. I don't know. And I feel sometimes like I feel so redundant, like a broken record. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. I used to put nice to meet you because you're virtually meeting someone, right? Not like physically. And then I used to be like, so what I like to do to engage conversation is, my thing is I like to look at their profile and see if there's something that I can like ask about. Like, so there's a lot of men that I've noticed that they travel a lot, so I like to ask, oh, what, like, where have you traveled to? Like, what is your favorite place to go to? And then if they have a pet, that's a really good way to like start conversation. I will say that you will find men who won't know how to hold a conversation for shit, like diddly squat. Like, they don't know the dynamics or the proper etiquette behind having a conversation, and I question I'm like, do they not know proper etiquette? Like, were they not taught didactic instruction in school? I don't know. Like, like didactic is like one-to-one. Like, you speak, then I speak. Then there's this reciprocal like rapport being built. I've had it where like men, they write like one word. Like, literally they say like one, you're like, oh, do you like, oh, I noticed like, oh, did you go to Sweden and whatever? What did you do there? Yeah, I went to Sweden. or yeah, I went to Sweden and I stayed in a chalet in the mountains. Oh, how like that'd be me. Oh, how cool! That's really cool. When did you go? 2 years ago. Okay. Um, my point is like there's no if you're the one carrying on the conversation, that's like a big red flag that the guy really doesn't know how to be a good conversationalist. And that also comes with experience, right? That comes with how you were raised by your parents, like the household you were brought up in, the kind of student you were in school. I think that's a good indication as well, because I think men that lack good conversation or like good communication or interpersonal skills, it shows, especially in the dating apps. Unless they're really intimidated, maybe they just don't know what to say. But to me, it's so easy. Like, on the other hand, a good idea of a conversation on a dating app would be, let's say we'll talk about the Sweden thing again. Oh, you went. Oh, I see you went to Sweden. What was your favorite thing to do there? Yeah, I went. I stayed at a chalet at Mount blah 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 blah. I got to go to like a spa retreat with my buddies, and I don't know, we got to do like meditation, like yoga, and it was for work, so it was like all expenses paid, and I maybe would like to go back. Have you ever been to Sweden? No, I haven't been to Sweden. This would be me, right? No, I haven't been to Sweden, but it's somewhere I'd like to go in the future. Um, I do have a lot of things on my bucket list, one of them being, go on a safari to Africa. Um, oh, you want to go on a safari to Africa? Really? Like, that's really cool. What made you want to do that? Oh, because, I saw the movie Mean Girls, and, Katie Heron was raised in sub-Saharan Africa. Um, have you ever been to Africa? No, I haven't been to Africa, but I have a buddy who's been, and, you know, um, I've also I've had friends that go like underwater cage shark whatever, I don't know, and then the point is that each person is invested, wholly invested, and they ask questions back and forth versus it being very one-sided and one of the person like trying to carry on the conversation. So you will encounter that if you've never been on a dating app. You'll encounter the people who literally like they'll ghost you. Like I said, you'll match with them and then they'll never utter a word. You'll match with the people who they will match with you and they'll talk to you, like they'll reach out and then you'll reply back and then they'll ghost you. You will, I'm trying to think the other kind of people. Well, in terms of, let's talk about the dating apps themselves, because I kind of got sidetracked. I did talk about Bumble. Bumble is a very like, I don't mind Bumble. I feel like you can get, like I said, a good mix of different individuals on there. Tinder is notorious for being the hookup app. I will say I've met some people who've had really I think she's almost asleep. She's almost sleeping. Almost. I've it depends on the person, right? It depends on the energy you're putting out there. You'll get people who are single and living it up, and they put their IG handle or they have no bio and they just are there, like, I guess to have a good time. There's other people who are intentional and they do fill out, like, because there's different on Tinder. Just so let's do a Tinder orientation, right? Let's do a Tinder orientation. This is what it looks like. Well, let me go back. Let me open it. Hey, no. Oh, he's cute. Wait a second, people. He's wearing sunglasses, though. His teeth are very white. He's cute. Let's see, like, what he offers. Not offers. So he has a bio. It says, nature photography is my passion. Always looking for new places to explore. Intention is everything. I'm just looking for someone to enjoy life with. I travel for my job 6 months out of the year. That could be a red flag. If a man travels a lot for work, I don't know. It's kind of questionable. It raises some eyebrows because, traveling a lot for work could mean that you're married and you're like, there's no set, like, home. There's no set pinpoint for home, right? It's like, oh, I'm in Colorado. Oh, I'm in California. Oh, I'm in China. Oh, I'm in Switzerland. And, what goes on in Switzerland stays in Switzerland. Oh, it says he's a photographer. Oh, nature photography. I travel for my job, so it's swipe right if you enjoy traveling and exploring nature. So this, let's give this as the example, right? So profile, you tap the pictures. I don't know, watch me actually match with this dude. Okay. This looks like festival gear. Yeah, this is definitely a festival goer. He has the poncho going. Traveling. Again. In a field of sunflowers. I can bet you anything. I would be shocked if to find out he didn't smoke. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I should have been a criminal profiler. He's not a criminal. I'm just saying, like, I should have been a criminal profiler or a forensic psychologist, because I said I would be remiss if this guy didn't smoke marijuana. And as I said, right, you scroll down, bio, more details. There's a thing that talks about weed, and it says cannabis, yes. Because for some reason, there's certain individuals, you look at them and you're like, you can just tell. Like, first of all, it's interesting because in other pictures he's like smiling, right? And then this one he's a little bit more serious. Maybe that's when maybe he's high, maybe he's not. You know, he's not smiling in that one, so the smile doesn't reach his eyes. So that's gonna be a no for me. Just because, yeah, I don't smoke marijuana, so I do think it's cool he's a nature photographer. But so here, just to give an idea, so it'll say, this is Tinder Orientation 101. It'll have, like, looking for, it says long-term, open to short, and then it says monogamy. You can put, like, ethical non-monogamy, open to exploring. To this day, I don't know what open to exploring means. I googled it. It means, like, I think it means, like, open to exploring different, like, you're open to polyamory, monogamy. You know, let's look it up. Let's get the let's get the Dr. Google version of, because I've already looked this up before. What does open to exploring mean on Tinder? Dr. Google says, on Tinder, open to exploring means a user, okay, that's what I said, a user is both open to monogamous and non-monogamous relationships, potentially exploring different types of partnerships depending on the individual they're connecting with. This signifies a willingness to consider options beyond a traditional exclusive romantic relationship. There we go, Dr. Google says it. But it's funny, he primarily puts monogamy, but he's open to the possibility of other things. That's going to be a no for me. So when you say no, they have the options at the bottom. This is the no, this is the like, this is the super swipe or whatever. That's a no. This guy, it says, so he liked me or something. It says likes you, right? When it's in gold like that, it means likes you, has their age. It says he's looking for a long-term partnership. Let's look at his pictures. That's a little bit far away, so I can't really see him. I am not about this. I am not about these pictures where you're like holding a phone and taking a picture of yourself. Now, some people, they're new to dating apps, or they're not good at taking selfies, so they'll be like, you know, I don't want to make fun of him because that's mean. But I'm not privy to this, so we'll keep going and see. That seems like a pleasant photo. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I will say that. I wonder if he works in IT. He's by a computer. He wrote only, so he wrote a bio, only thinking of marriage. If someone doesn't message me, it means they don't like me. That's true. I'm just looking for a woman who loves me. That's a little bit too much. See, this is giving very, like, no, that's too serious right there. That's a fun photo. This is definitely giving me, like, needy vibes. Well, I live without working with YouTube. Well, first of all, he lives in Istanbul. How this man popped up on my feed, I don't know. But it says, if maybe he's English, but does he speak English? It says English, German, and Turkish. If you are someone who can take a vacation and travel, I would like to get married in Istanbul. Honeymoon wedding. I am a cheerful, fun, smiling, and funny person. Love makes everything happen. Insatiable, limitless. I live without working with YouTube. I do not tolerate disrespect. Please write accordingly. I live in Istanbul. He did. I will give him kudos for, like, I do give him kudos for, like, filling out, like, he actually filled this out. I'm looking for a woman who is clear and knows what she wants. Those who cannot travel abroad should not write. It's very specific. I feel like he's probably like me, where he's had probably a string of, like, not great connections. I don't know what this song is. Spiral Moshiku. Well, first of all, he's in Istanbul. I don't plan on ever going to Istanbul, so right there, that's a negative. I'm not really big on the fact that he said, I'm just looking for a woman who loves me. That's kind of like a feeding the ego kind of thing. Like, I'm just feeling like I want someone who loves me. Like, how you can't love somebody until you get to know them. So that's going to be a negative. So no, that's a no. Pleasant smile. Long-term partnership. I'm hoping to find something real here. Recovering anxiously attached. At least he's honest. Canada. I'm gonna have to say no because I don't plan on moving to Canada anytime soon. Nothing against Canada, unless it's Toronto. I've heard good things about Toronto. I'm not big on that. The photos like that where they're like, I'm not, that's a decent photo. Looks like Niagara Falls. Oh, he's smoking hookah. That's a no. That's a no right there. I don't do phone pictures. That's a no. There's no... Oh, so this is a good example. You will see stuff like this. Accompagner. There's a picture of... This is literally a profile. I'm not kidding. This is a profile. A dating profile. There's no pictures. That's a no. That's a definite no. I don't even know. I have a wolf pet. That's his bio. It says, I have a wolf pet, and he's still figuring out what he wants. This is just an example of what you might see. That looks suspicious. Je suis un gars down to earth. I am a down to earth boy. I like hiking. I don't really know. Social smoker. I won't do it. I don't smoke. Boo, I don't want to date someone with the name. Oh no, I almost put super like. I'm not really crazy about the picture. I don't do selfies at the gym. That's a nice picture. He's on the boat. God, he's in the sun. He looks like he's... no. See, I don't do this. I can't do the pictures with the, like, selfies, like you're looking all, like, No, I don't... No. This is the kind of stuff that, these are the kind of profiles you may see. I don't do pictures with the cell phone thing. That's an ad. That's a no. So once you get into it, I'm very used to just going no. That's not a picture. That's him like sleeping. I don't know why that's like that. You can't really see what's going on there. That looks like a pleasant photo. What's his bio say? Pick 2, 6-pack, 6 figures, or 6. No, that's already a no. No. He looks confused, and he has a cigarette in his mouth and with a bucket hat. That's a no. Mowgli. I like that he has dogs. He has a happy face on him. He seems like a happy man. He's smiling. He plays guitar. He likes bunnies. He looks like a storyteller. He likes to climb trees. I might read more. Short term, open to long. Bisexual. You know what? I'm going to give a round of applause for this man. I might actually like his thing. You know why? Because for the first time ever, the man writes, a man is honest and he puts bisexual. I might actually like his thing. I know that sounds crazy. I'd rather take an honest bisexual man than a deviant straight man prone to infidelity and dishonesty. I'm not kidding. I really will say that. And you look at him, he's actually pretty happy. He's climbing trees. He's telling stories. Now here's the thing though, with the whole bisexual thing. I don't know on a scale of, is he more, because from what I understand, so I had a coworker in Miami, he was bi, or no, he was formerly bi, and then he's like, and then he was like, he realized he preferred men more. He's a hairdresser. Oh, my ear, tinnitus. Sometimes I get ringing in my ears. I just press it and it goes away. It's weird. I press it when I get ringing in my ears. I just press it, boop, it goes away. Anyways, there was a guy that I worked with in Miami. He was bisexual. He has a daughter, actually, and then he realized he liked men more. But what he told me, I remember I asked him, I'm like, so and so, how does it work like with guys that are bi? Do they have a preference for like one sex over the other? And he's like, yeah. He's like, usually like if someone's, but they prefer like maybe women over men or men over women. Usually that's how it works. So, I will say though that it's, but I like the little turquoise beads he has on his chest. He looks very happy. The smile reaches his eyes. He likes bunnies. Now, I will say though, if he's more flamboyant than anything, I'm not really too keen. But I actually might swipe on him. Like, and if I don't date him, maybe I'll have a friend, you know? Like, maybe I'll make a friend out of it, you know? I could use more friends in my life. But I actually, for the first time, you know, I actually finally, like, a man puts bisexual. I'm a straight woman, but, like, I feel like in the past I have dated or slept with men who were possibly bi, but they didn't tell me. And it's sad because I actually had really good connections with them, and it made him look really shitty. The fact that I sensed that they were gay or bi and they lied to me, I will never ever reconnect with them because it would have been more honorable and authentic if they said, hey, yeah, I do go both ways, or I do date men and women. I would have been like, okay, because there's actually a good episode. I'm actually, you know, I'm gonna like his page. It sounds crazy, but I'm gonna like it. And if you're like, oh, but she's so like liberal and whatever, no, like I said, I'm independent. I'm in the middle. I value people who are authentic and real and kind, and as long as he's not super flamboyant and like, you know, like, because I'll be honest, like if you're like, I'm not someone that could date someone, I'm like, put it this way, in terms of LGBTQ, if there's a woman that's transgender and she's a woman, she identifies, she's male, she's female, gender, born, sex, whatever, but she dresses as a man, I can't do that. I wouldn't do that just because I want to date like a man, right? But if I do have children naturally, right? So, but if they're more on the flamboyant side, I will say like, yeah, I probably wouldn't. But he plays guitar. He climbs trees apparently in his spare time. He likes bunnies. And he sings. And he likes doggies. So I'm going to say yes. I don't know where Montan is. Let's look up Montan. But this is the first time I've actually come across a man who puts... Oh, it's 50... That's an hour away. I don't know. That's kind of far. And I definitely, like... that's farther than Burlington. So this is where... So I'm over here. Let's talk about perspective. I'm over here in the little teeny tiny town of St. Albans. Burlington is over here, which is like 30 minutes away, and he's over here. So that right there is a deal breaker, unfortunately. Because I can't... I would have said yes. If he was closer, I would have said yes. I actually would have swiped right on him. And maybe you're not like me. You're like, oh, a bisexual man. Trust me, before I was not like at all. I would have been like, no, if they're whatever, no. But I will say though that sometimes men that are bisexual are a lot more like, I don't know, they're more sensitive and like down to earth and like the straight, like, yeah, like I'm so like cool, you know, like I fish and I throw the fish back, you know, like, you know, I play hockey sometimes, like I'm a bro and I throw back the beers and, you know, like, no, like I'd rather have a guy who maybe he's more feminine, maybe he has dated a man, but so I will say no because, so you can see the location. So here it says, I know. He's 38 miles away from me at the very top, and he went to Bennington College, but I'm going to say no because he does live far. But that's it. You kind of get an idea of what that's about. These people, they look like brothers. I don't know if they are. I am very attracted to the man. Like, if he has a mustache, I know that sounds whatever, but I started watching the show This Is Us, and the character of Jack, he has, what's it called? He has a mustache, and it's based in the 70s, and you know, so, let's see. See this? I'm not about this like, hand signal. I do a peace sign, but I don't think that's a peace sign. They're doing it inverted, so that's a no for me. I don't know what he's looking outside at, but this is no, that's not, no. You'll see different ads. Oh, that's cute, the little Shiba Inu, or an Akita. He's kind of cute. Let's see. He has a doggy. He's kind of cute. He's in an ice thing. 36. 49 miles away. He doesn't have a bio. That's a negative. He's into some cool stuff. Marble, barbecue, sushi, coffee, and movies. I'm not big on sushi, but I would have said yes. I would have swiped yes if he had a bio, but he doesn't have a bio. That means he's not going to take the time. He's not really interested. Maybe he's more interested in sex than anything. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know who the person is. I can't differentiate who. Oh, it's this guy. This is not a good profile. You can't even see his face. You can tell he's likes to snorkel. It's too dark. Can't see. Too far away. That's a no. I don't do the pictures when they're like, you know, taking pictures of themselves. I don't know. Sometimes I go, am I too picky? He looks, no smiling. He looks sad. And mind you, I've gone through, like, I might seem like I'm happy now, and you're like, oh, she never went through depression or PTSD or anxiety. That's not true. No, I did. I really did. I was bed rotting probably 8 months ago or 6 months ago, where I didn't want to get out of bed, and I slept the whole day, and I was miserable, and I would cry my eyes out. And I was taking my medication. So if you're like, oh, she's bullshitting. No, I chose goodness, and I chose happiness, and I chose gratitude. And I focused on the things that I had, not what I didn't have. And I cut people out of my life that I knew that weren't good for me and were toxic for me. So let's see this man. Cute, kind of cute. No, no. The sideways, he's taking pictures sideways. All his pictures are like in the corner. No. See, this is the dating pool, right? I don't do this with the signs. I don't know if those are what that means, but we're not doing that. Hot stamp for the night. Let's grab a drink or smoke. Smoking? No. This is what I mean. These are the profiles you'll come across. He looks high. He looks like he's at Chili's or Applebee's. He has a margarita, but you can't really see him. His eyes are closed. Oh, this guy definitely smokes weed. His eyes look super. His eyes are super closed. Oh, they're closed again. Oh, I would be surprised if it said that he didn't smoke weed. Traveling, music, cool buzz, good times. Social smoker, yes. Cannabis, yes. I literally should have been a criminal profiler. Like, you know, people like when they, not maybe necessarily interrogate people in the room, but like I would have been able to say, they're bullshitting, they're not, he's whatever. Like oh look, it says trust no one. Boombox. There's like a picture of a snake biting a hand with blood coming out of it. This is a profile. That's a profile. Boombox. Okay. No. I appreciate that he says he's a nerd, but oh, but he had his hair down and then up and then cookies. He has pictures of cookies. I appreciate that. I do like cookies. And he has sweets in it too. But no. That's a no. No, I'm confused. There's another person in the picture. I don't know if that's a girlfriend or a friend. There's a baby. A jack-o'-lantern. So these are the kind of people, like I said, you'll come across. Now, this is kind of attractive, but I'm not going to get too excited. He has this self-assured confidence. He looks like he has a nice little goatee situation going on. He enjoys, from the get-go, it says sports, cycling, board games, travel, and wine. He's kind of handsome. There's only 2 photos. That's not good. I need more photos. Like, that's not enough for me, unfortunately. 44 miles away, 6 feet tall, University of Tunis. I don't know where that is. He speaks Arabic and French. He likes to eat halal. I'm going to say no, unfortunately, because he doesn't have enough pictures. That's too bad. And he doesn't have a bio. So this is what I'm saying. If you get on an app, you're going to meet people from all walks of life. Some are going to be genuinely interested to want to get to date you and know you, and other ones are going to be wasting your time. And the time wasters, be mindful, because the time wasters are going to disguise themselves as not time wasters. They're going to come off like they do like you and they want to get to know you, but really they don't, and they just want to keep you, like string you along or bench you, meaning like they're going to give you enough attention, like little bits and pieces to just keep you hooked, right? But not really invest wholeheartedly to get to know you. This guy's kind of cute. Let's see. He's holding a fish. I will say I've had my fair share of looking at fish photos for I don't know how long. But he is holding fish. He's kind of cute. He has this like nice vibe going on, like a very easygoing thumbs up. I like this thumbs up thing going on the boat. He goes surfing. He's physically fit. He's in good shape. Oh, nope. I have children and don't want more. That's a no. See, this is why dating, it's tricky. It's hard. I would have said yes to this profile. If he said that about the children, no, forget about no bio. Nope. And then you have ads like this for slot machines. Sometimes there's ads for, like, they talk about HPV awareness, they talk about birth control. Sometimes there's ads for, like, hotels and stuff like that. That's a no. Guys, I don't date, when they have piercings that are, like, huge, I don't date that. Or they have other tattoos all over their face, I won't do that. And I have tattoos, but I won't. This guy's kind of cute. Seems friendly. I bet you he's a golfer. That's a golf t-shirt. Laid back photo. That's decent, you know. I don't know. Nope, no bio, and he's still figuring shit out. It's a pretty cool photo. He's like mid hitting the volleyball. No, he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. When they do the whole like smolder look, they're like, I'm so cool. Like, I like confidence. If you're self-assured, you're confident in yourself, I like that, but I don't do the it's like if I do, see, another thing is, like, I don't want to be hypocritical, because I do actually have pictures of myself, sexy pictures that I've sent to other people in my face. I'm doing basically the fishy, kissy face where I'm like, you know, like trying to look whatever, trying to seem seductive, but that's between myself and the person I'm texting. I'm not putting those pictures up on Tinder of me, like, you know. So yeah, it's hard. Look, cute guy. Very attractive guy. Let's see. Ready? Very attractive guy. He has a cute dog that looks like an Australian sheepdog, right? Right? Beautiful. He has really nice blue eyes. But I don't do the smold. The smolders is, I don't do this smolder. But let's see his profile. No bio. Skip. He's kind of cute. He's kind of cute. I might say, let's see, does he have a bio? This is a no. I was going to say yes on him. I was going to say yes. Because I was, but I'm not. Because he put a stupid bio. Maybe he was trying to be funny. I don't know. He has the doggies. That means he's a dog person. I don't know what's going on in the photo, but there is a dog. I think he's cute. Maybe you might beg to differ, but I think he's cute. I like his plaid shirt. I like that he goes in the mountains and he's hiking, unless that's AI and he's not really in the mountains, because people can do that nowadays. I don't know what this is. I'm hoping it's not a boyfriend, because you never know. It looks like more like they're like groomsmen for like a wedding or something. I don't know. But they look cute. He looks very dapper. He cleans up well. He's in the mountains again. Now the question is he straight? That's when you go to the thing. He's in the mountains again. I like his tie. He has a flower tie. Let's see if he's straight. And okay, so his bio says looking for a beneficiary for my life insurance policy, which it could be a cheeky way to say, like, I'm looking for someone that I trust and would be like, if I passed away, they would take my like money. I don't know, whatever. And it says if you can ride a mountain bike, you're in. Let's meet on the trail. What if I don't have a mountain bike? Now, there's nothing about where he went to school, how tall. It does say how tall he is. It says how far away he is. He's sober curious. I might say yes to this one. Why? What? This is the breakdown, the psychology. What makes a good profile? I like that he's physically active. I like that there's a dog in the photo. I don't know what's going on with the dog, though. I think he's cute. That's just me. Maybe my taste is not like your taste. I think he's cute. I like that he goes mountain climbing. I wish, though, he had more in his profile. Now, it does say short-term open to long, so that kind of tells me he might be more interested in, like, a friends with benefits fling type of thing. My thing I put, we'll go to my profile in a second, but I'm gonna I'm gonna put yes. I'm gonna swipe. I did a yes. I swiped right because, well, let's see. Um, I'm curious to know about that life insurance. Like, why would you put that? I don't know. Let's go to my profile really quick, just so I can show what that looks like. So this is the page. If you're subscribed, it looks like this. I did subscribe to Tinder Gold before. These are the pictures. This is my profile. Take a glimpse of my Tinder profile. This is me. So, that's me again. That's me drinking coffee. And this is a pet therapy dog. So this is when I worked in the hospital in Miami. And this was the pet therapy dog. His name was Apollo, and he was really cute. And his owner, I knew his owner, super sweet. She's a volunteer. And it was COVID time, so we had to wear the masks. But, like, it was the cutest little doggy. I have a lot of pictures with animals. Anyways, you get to put your song, and I put Luther by Kendrick Lamar because I love, and SZA, I should say that, because I do like Kendrick Lamar. So if you scroll, it goes like that, pictures. I try to put enough pictures, I do love animals, I try to convey that. See, my profile, everyone gets a whole lot of seeing what I'm about. I basically put in a bit of a transition period in my life, but looking to develop quality connections, date with intention, and make fun memories, value monogamy, honesty, and authenticity. Hopefully you're the same. Also kind of a chatty ambivert. So I did that on purpose because I do like to chat with people. I'm giving basically, so if you're like, what do I put in my bio? Like, do I put be authentic, like be you, what would you want someone to know the most about you? What are the things that you value? What are you looking for? Why are you on there? Right? So that's why I put value monogamy, honesty, and authenticity. Hopefully you're the same. Also kind of a chatty ambivert. Hope you won't mind and genuinely enjoy getting to know somebody. I also may be moving soon, so if you're not into long distance relationships, so I abbreviated LDR, or forming a genuine connection, please don't swipe right. Thanks. Namaste. So I put namaste so people, I'm a yogi. I do. So I literally put like everything. I filled out all the things because I'm not here to I'm not going to put like a half-assed profile. And I put it says the key to my heart. I put freshly baked, slightly burnt chocolate chip cookies, which is true, or a chocolate cake, or a McDonald's, or a really good glass of wine, because I'm kind of a wine snob. And then I put the hottest thing you can do is, because these are, so they do give you prompts and then you answer them. And I put be a good human being, being a good human being that is kind, honest, and has integrity. First date wish list, to do something fun that's non-traditional and doesn't feel like an interview. That's my profile. This is what it looks like. So if you've never done a Tinder profile, maybe try one, you never know. So far there really hasn't been anyone that I would say that I'm like, yeah, I would, because I want to be mindful that I don't know what this is. I guess this is an ad, I'm assuming. Yes. Why is there a girl in here? I don't know. Looking for a unicorn to have a little fun. There's a woman and I don't know why. And this has happened before, and I go to my profile and I go, did I put that I'm looking for men? Interest, has a bio. Oh wait, hold on. I need to set this to, wait. No, yeah, interested in men. I do have it there. It says interested in men between 30 to 37. So I don't know why a woman popped up. That's happened before though, when I go, why is it? Because I put interested in men and it said it. So anyways, be mindful, because you may have, maybe you know what happens, maybe they change it to their setting and they put that they're a man so that they pop up on other people's things. So anyways, yeah, but be mindful, because you may get women on there. There's also, I will say too, you'll get couples, like, I guess they're called swingers, and they'll basically they'll be like, we're a whatever couple and we're looking for fun and we want a third. Not interested. So yeah, so far there's really nobody. This guy's kind of cute. He looks like he drives trucks for a living. He can do a really good handstand. That's impressive. He's feeding the deer. That's impressive too. He's kind of cute. I like this black and white photo situation going on. He has a cool tattoo also. Oh. He's there probably for a good time, not a long time. He's looking for a hookup. That's sad though, because I would have because here's the thing. So I'm not opposed to sex. I'm not opposed to intimacy, but when it's just short, so it says it here, short-term fun. When it's short-term fun, you know that it's going to be either a one-night stand or, and he has it here in French. He says something to "Ma plus vacciné, je bandam de trouver la bonne personne." I'm sure it's in French. His bio's in French because I am right next to Canada. But we're gonna say a no, and that's unfortunate because he actually was really cute, and he has the good mustache thing going on. I bet you. And here's the thing. I can tell you right now, this man knows how to pleasure a woman because he's probably slept with a few different women. I don't think men, but you can just tell the way he carries himself. He gets it, and he's handsome too. So, but I'm gonna have to say no, unfortunately, because I'm not opposed to intimacy, but I'm not here to I don't want to have sex with somebody. I want to have a good connection with somebody. So he's a no. So it's safe to say today was, in terms of dating prospects, that was a no. It says not a cop. I don't know why it says not a cop, but he's dressed as a cop. I don't get what that's about. Why is he dressed as a cop? I don't get it. Anyways, okay, moving forward. But it's okay, because every day's a new day, and there's, different people that join the apps, and who knows, maybe, I don't know why this guy's name is Diamond. I don't know why it's called Diamond. Hey, his eyes are yellow. Okay, here we go. This is interesting. Don't know what this is about. Let's see. Oh, a lot of girls in the picture. This is a definite no-no. Jim, he's very jacked, though. I give him that. That's a negatory. Nope, gym photo. And it's funny, I was talking to a guy that recently had a photo of himself like this, like he was taking a picture in the gym, and I was like, and I swiped on him, and we had a conversation, and I realized he really just, I think he had a girlfriend, and I think he was cheating on her, and he just really wanted to have sex. Okay, this is a no. He's showing his abs, and he clearly is not wearing boxers, if you can see what I'm talking about. So, I'm going to close this for now, but if that was a little orientation in terms of Hinge is another app. Hinge is, apparently their slogan is, it's the app that's meant to be deleted. So, oh god, this guy has a rifle in his hands. I will not date a hunter. That's just, yeah. Not hunting, it's just I'm okay if someone owns a gun to protect themselves, but I'm not about I can't shoot a deer. If a guy's let's go deer hunting, I'm gonna be no, unless it's the apocalypse and there's zombies everywhere, right? And we go into nuclear war, and everything, we're living in a ravished wasteland, in the movie WALL-E, then I'll be yeah, maybe we need to amp up our hunting skills, but yeah, as a pastime, no. So, but let's give a little mini tutorial on this. So, this is Hinge. It's a little bit more, I don't know, it's I have a love-hate relationship with Hinge because sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's not. You can get a little bit more personal, I think, with Hinge. But it's still still a dating app. So I'm not going to go too much into it, but basically they give the profile photo. It's just the same thing with different layout. It basically has their job, their religion, and it also depends too. You don't have to put all these details just like the other ones. I am the kind of person, I do prefer if they put their age. I prefer if they put their sexual orientation, that if they put their height, they put where their descent or whatever, what they want kids, if they smoke. This one's really good. I will say Hinge is good because you can put whether they do, there's literally a thing where it says if they do drugs. Literally it says no. He doesn't smoke weed, doesn't do drugs, he does smoke, so he's a no. I like that he's playing with a dog. He likes Lord of the Rings, apparently. Wine, beer. He lives in Montreal. He smokes, though, sometimes, so it's a no. So, but this is the kind of the way it looks. And then if you like a comment, if you like some part of their profile, you can heart it and send an I like you kind of situation. So, he got a nice smile. He has a nice smile. I don't know. Oh, he's doing ropes. This is a good profile so far. I don't know what his... Oh, he's practicing Norwegian and bro, this guy's a cool dude. He's practicing Norwegian and Portuguese on Duolingo. He likes stand-up comedy. Okay, but he didn't put, see, this is the thing. To me, he's kind of cute, though. He's cute. He's really cute. He's funny. I like this. The only thing is that he didn't put, oh, he's in Canada. Damn it. The only thing is he didn't put his sexual orientation. But wow, it says English, French, Spanish, Norwegian, and Portuguese. He's really well-rounded. Damn. I'm impressed. This dude is cool. How is he single? I don't know. He has, like, everything going for him. He has a really nice smile. Like, that's a smile that, like, a smile reaches his eyes. And no, I don't discriminate. And yes, he is a person of color. Do I give a shit? No. I used to kind of be, like, side note, I used to be kind of afraid to date people that were out of my race because, well, I don't know. My mom doesn't know that. Well, I did tell her I made a YouTube channel, but, like, I don't want to bash my parents. But, like, I always was, like, kind of nervous if, like, I dated someone that was out of my race because, like, I always thought, what would they think? What would my family think? You know? So, anyways, just a side note. So, but he has a really well-rounded profile, but he didn't put whether he's straight or whatever, and I'm kind of like, I don't want to take a gamble on that, because the thing is, here's the thing, he filled out his job, he works in IT, he put where his hometown is, monogamy, he has all the details, but he didn't put a sexual orientation, so I'm just kind of like, nope. But he had it going for him. Oh, there's a doggy. There's a doggy in the picture. He doesn't have any pictures, though. See, this is not a good profile. And he looks like an attractive dude. That's frustrating. He looks like an attractive dude, but the side profile is not enough. He works, it says informatique. I don't know if that means IT. He did put that he's straight. He's 6'5". He's tall. He doesn't smoke. But he didn't put whether he does drugs or weed. So I'm assuming he does do those things. He rides a motorcycle. That means he's kind of daredevil, like risk-taking. But I can't figure out where he is in this picture. I like that he has a dog. I'm assuming that's his dog. Golden Retriever energy. I like it. But you can't really see him. So that's a no. So that's Hinge. Other apps, I did do eHarmony. I tried Match for a little bit. I didn't really care for them. I didn't really get good. The dating pool on there was not great. So I'm going to say, what's in conclusion, because this is almost like 2 hours long. I didn't expect for it to be this long. It really depends. It's subjective to your own experience. Because I've literally had coworkers where they're like, yeah, I met my husband on Tinder. I've met my husband on Bumble or on Hinge. Or the same where people go, oh, I met my wife or whatever. And so it really does depend on you. Meaning, like, I would say, do it for yourself. Download it. If you're scared to do it, maybe your parents are against it. Like, at first when I told my parents, I was like, oh, I'm doing dating apps. They're like, oh my God, you're going to get killed. And I'm like, no. There's no difference between going to a bar or a club and you meet a stranger, and then, in fact, when you see someone online, it puts their stuff, like, they put what they're all about, so you kind of get like a precursor, like a little preview into who they are. So that's that. I just think with anything in life, you always have to exercise caution in your affairs. I will say this though, a lot of the people I've come across, especially on Tinder, a lot of them I think were married, and they hid that from their spouse or their partner. Just unfortunately, that's the way it is. And if you're like me, if you're someone, I do value monogamy, and I don't want to be a homewrecker. I don't believe, like literally, there's been coworkers I've been with, like, in the server industry, where they could give a shit less if the guy's married. Like, I'm not kidding. They were like, oh, married? I don't care. I'll steal him from the woman. Like, literally, that's the mentality I've heard of people. Or, they didn't mind being the mistress. You know, they figured, oh, he has his wife, the domestic life, I'll be the mistress, and I'll get all the perks, and I'll get the bags, and I'll get the whatever, and I'll get the sex, I'll get the hotel rooms, and, you know. And then if you're younger, right, some women are okay with being sugar babies and being funded by an older man. I will never do that, because I actually like to work, because I'm weird like that. what else? There's something else I wanted to say. Yeah, so be prepared for that. You are gonna meet scumbags. You're gonna meet men who don't know how to have a conversation for anything in their life. You're gonna meet guys who are just gonna be like, "What's up? How HBU? Like, how about you?" They're not gonna use proper grammar. They're gonna be, they're gonna use like abbreviations and slang terms and, like you up, or what's up or what's up, you know. So you have to be prepared for that, and I think it's good sometimes to meet what you don't want, because then you get really dead set on what you do want, you know. Like when you meet what you don't want, you're like, okay, I don't want that. So you get really clear and definitive on what you do want, right? Because, if you're really set, like if you're really intentional about, like, you're like, I want to meet a life partner, right? Like, and I want to, maybe not necessarily marriage, but you want to meet someone who's marriage material. You want to have a companion for life, because who doesn't, right? Imagine, like, if you're, let's fast forward. Imagine you're 60 or 70 years old. You did your single life, you did the college thing, you have your job, and then there's just like one part of you that feels like something's missing, and you're like, well, like, let's say you're a man and you did all this stuff and you have a great job, you make a good salary, but you've kind of been doing the bachelor thing, and then you get to your 40s or your 50s and you're like, maybe it would be nice you come home to like a nice lady friend, not a lady friend, but you come home and there's like, you have your wife waiting for you, and a dog or a cat, and you have maybe like if she cooks, or you both cook or whatever. I'm trying to think of like traditional gender roles, but like, let's say if he works or if she works as well, or whatever, in whatever capacity it is, but you come home and you have someone, there to talk about your day with. You have a meal being prepared for you, like hot, warm food, I mean, I'm describing it the way that I would be. Like, if I was a wife to somebody, that's what I would do, and like, I'm not like great at massages, but like, let's say, if I had a husband or whatever, like, or a boyfriend, I would be the type of person, like, I'd massage, it sounds gross, but I would massage someone's feet, because if they're on their feet all day, I would do that. I know that sounds gross because it's someone's feet, but, it's an endearing thing. Or like massage someone's back, or, like, I think there comes a point, I don't know, if that's the way I see it. And, you want to have, like, and let's say, God forbid, like, if you're a woman, like, let's say let's say you're, like, I'm very independent as a woman, but let's say one day in the future I get really sick, right? It could happen, right? And my family might be living in a different state or whatever, and I have my dog, but let's say I don't have anyone there to help me through that. Now, I'm very independent, so I could probably get through that shit, like, no problem, but, like, traditionally speaking, an everyday human being, like, you'd want to have someone to be there for you, to be your, that's why when you get married, they say through rich or for poor, for sickness and health, for better or for worse, because literally we're going to be met with different things in our life where our resolve is going to be tested, and having someone there to be there for you by your side would be a gift. And if it's someone that you feel like you truly get along with, right? So that's why it's like, dating apps, I do think it's a good training ground to get better at developing your communication skills, how to state and express your boundaries. I've learned that, like, a lot of men, unfortunately, they've kind of pushed my boundaries a little bit, so I've gotten really good at, like, delineating and expressing my boundaries, or stating them, right, or enforcing them, I should say. It's also, I've gotten better, like, I don't know if, maybe, I wanted to explore sex and stuff, and I wanted to, like, get better at flirting, so, because I sucked at it. My level of flirting literally was like, if I smiled at a man, like, like if I was in a restaurant and someone's next to me, I'd be like, that's it. Like, that's the extent of it. I can't, I have gotten better at that, like, developing banter and rapport and whatnot. So yeah, I think, we're all gonna have our own experience with it. It's not to say, like, oh, you're lucky, one person's lucky, one person's not. It's just, maybe they're not meant for you. Maybe an app is not meant the way to do it. Maybe you're meant to meet someone organically, like through a friend of a friend, or through school, or through work, or through, um, like an extracurricular activity like the gym or Orange Theory or CrossFit or whatever, you know, run club, book club, I don't know, you know, there's so many things. You know, me, I'm kind of like, I stay I stay in my little corner in this little house, but if I was, you know, out and about, I would definitely try to like do other things, you know. That's just me. So with that, I really want water right now. And it's 1:20 in the morning. So, but I just wanted to come on here and talk about that because I think dating apps, it really is subjective to your own experience. Some people do get lucky. Like I said, some people will just use it to hook up with people. And that's okay. Everyone's at a different point in their life. I will say, though, that once you reach a point, like if you're in your 40s and you're in your 50s and 60s and you're still like, if a guy's like, I don't know what I want, and he's like 55 or like 42, I'm going to be like, bro, you're 42. You either had like a divorce, or you have a child with somebody, you got someone pregnant, or you lead you're a career bachelor where like all you do is just date, like you're a serial dater and there's no commitment. So, you know, some people are like that where they don't want to be settled down or tied down, but I will say that for me, I would prefer, you know, it would be nice to have someone, you know, you come home to and you're like, hey, that's my person. And that's for me with monogamy. I don't really do that because to me, when you do the polyamory thing, it's almost like an excuse to be able to hook up with other people, you know, because you don't have the self-restraint or discipline to say, hey, I'm going to keep this within our relationship, you know. So that's just me. But maybe you're different than me, and I don't want to knock you if you do polyamory, because if it works for you, great. But for me, I was raised to want something more traditional, and so that's what I'm going to do. And if anything changes, trust me, I will probably talk about it on here. So, yeah. Anything else? I'm just trying to think of advice. Always vet the person. Ask for their last name. Do not think like, okay, I would say ask their last name after, you know, you've met them, you've had a date with them. Put it this way, don't sleep with someone unless you know their last name. You know, because God forbid you sleep with like a serial killer, you know. Can you imagine, like, you sleep with someone and you find out they're like a serial killer or like a hitman, and you're like, oh my god, you're a mafia mobster person, right? I'd be like, ew, I'd like wash myself all over. I'd be like, no. So just, yeah, those are my little tidbits. I'm still a work in progress, you know. I can't say, oh yeah, I'll meet, if I ever do meet someone, then I will talk about it and be like, oh, you know, I met, you know, so and so. But for right now, I'm at the point, I am in a transition period. I don't really know. My lease is up in June here. I do need to figure out, hopefully I do get a job, and if not, then I really do have to get on board with the TEFL thing, because slim pickings, just like in the dating pool, to get hired now in this job market. Unless if you know someone, great. If you don't know someone, it's going to be a lot harder. So, yeah. And who knows, maybe one day I will go abroad. I don't really have the funds to be able to do so now, but I don't know. I'm kind of like interested to see what the world is like outside the US, and like customs and culture, because I did study sociology. I did study culture and the formation of group society or group think, right? And just learn what other people, I mean, that's how you become a well-rounded worldly person, right? You expose yourself to different ways of life and cultures and customs, and you grow cultural competency, if you will. So yeah, so I hope you learned something. And if you didn't learn anything and you're like, oh my god, this girl's a hot mess, she goes all over the place with her topics, well, the point of this thing was, I don't have like the setup of the light with the circle, or like, you know, the GoPro, you know, with the words and stuff. It was meant to be like literally, if you were sitting on the edge of my bed and we were having a conversation over wine or coffee or tea, and that's it. So, you know, that's that. I will say though, be careful and cautious, like you would with anything else. Communicate, and don't settle. If you're a woman and you're like, but I'm so bored, I want a mate, I want to trust me, like, I know, like, we all, it would be nice. Being held and being intimate with someone is it's a gift, but it's also like, biologically it feels good. So, but you don't want to ever submit yourself to somebody who's just going to use you and, or abuse you, like psychologically, emotionally, because you might go into it like, oh, like me, like you may say, oh, I want a friend, like, but like I want to get to know someone and have a genuine connection, and maybe I'll sleep with them, because I like them, when really they might just want the benefits and not the friend part. So be mindful of that. Communicate what you want, be open and honest. Don't hold anything back. Don't feel bad if you feel like you're asking too many questions or interrogating someone. If you're dating seriously, you're looking for your life partner, right? You need to know these things. You're not gonna, this isn't, if you want to go on Married at First Sight, there's literally a reality TV show called Married at First Sight. Go sign up for that. Go sign up for The Bachelor or Bachelorette, But Married at First Sight is more like you do a questionnaire and then they pair you based on your psychological compatibility and whatnot. But if you're looking for an actual connection with someone, don't be sad or discouraged if like you go through a bunch of pages and profiles and you don't get anything. This isn't like a slot machine gambling, in Las Vegas. This is your life. So if I will say, don't treat yourself as an option. Don't settle for mediocrity. Like, you put yourself out there and you know what you deserve, and if you settle, because don't forget, who you surround yourself with is a direct reflection of who you are as a person. So if you're going to surround yourself with people, like for instance, there was a guy I came across, his profile, I think it was yesterday, he seemed so perfect, so cute, well-rounded, physically fit, does shit with people, or like by himself. He looked comfortable by himself. I think he liked animals, he liked food, he was into like 90s stuff or whatever, and good movies, music, and then it said he smokes weed frequently, and I'm like, I just don't want that. That's me, that's my personal preference. I know weed is very common and prevalent nowadays, especially like in the vape pens and stuff. THC, medicinal, like that's different. Not THC, CBD. But for me, if someone has to smoke weed all the time to get high, it's not for medical purposes. It means that they need to inhale or digest a psychoactive substance in order to feel at ease. Or I'd rather sit in the uncomfortable and feel the anxiety or feel that and heal it. So I'm very big on the thing, feel it to heal it. I'd rather do that than numb it and, inhale, something that will ultimately affect my brain chemistry and my reactivity. Because when you smoke weed, your reaction time is different. You may be more mellow and at ease, but your information processing skills and abilities decrease because your reaction time is delayed, right? Because you're more like chill and mellow, right? So, and people may defer from me because they're like, oh, she's such a good girl, she doesn't do, yeah, well, I I don't know what to tell you, like, I don't know, I'm very sensitive to certain smells and things, so, anyways, yeah, that's my 2 cents about dating apps and my experience with those, and use discernment, use caution, treat it, have fun with it, I think the biggest takeaway is have fun with it. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't be like, oh my god, I need to meet my husband, I need to meet my wife on a dating app. No. You might, like, I don't know, maybe one day you're gonna, like, let's say if I go on a road trip or something again, if I move, maybe, like, I'll stop at, like, I don't know, a pit stop, like, those rest stops along the way, right? Maybe I'll stop there and I'll, like, park next to a guy who's also letting his dog out to do his or her business, and we talk and our dogs get along and are like, hey, and he's like, hey, I live in Massachusetts, or I live in Pennsylvania, or I live in Connecticut, and I'll be like, oh my god, that's so cool, and your dog is cute and you're cute, oh my god, we get along, this is great. You never know. So I never discourage organic interactions, but I'm also not going to discourage not inorganic, just more like, what's the word? It's not artificial, but like, I don't know. Like if you had to manually, like, like facilitate something. That's what I mean. So, or assisted interactions. I'll say that because the dating app is like, it's an assistant or an assistive way to meet people. So, yeah. Don't put so much pressure on it. Enjoy it. Have fun. Oh, I will say this. I mentioned this on a morning vlog. This is the last little bit of tidbit information. If let's say you do get lucky and you match with a bunch of people, right? Don't. I feel like there's this unsaid treaty, right? TREATY, right? Which is like an agreement made between two people or parties. That some, like, people expect that, like, if you're having a good rapport with somebody in a conversation on a dating app, that you should only be talking to them. Dating apps are meant to be, it's you're supposed to kind of explore your options. You get different matches. And one thing I will say about me is, in the beginning of it, this is how honest I am in my heart, I felt bad talking to multiple people at the same time, because I felt like I was cheating them. Mind you, I wasn't in a relationship with them. It was very just transient, like just very surface level stuff. But in my heart, if I was already establishing some sort of rapport with somebody, I felt disingenuous or inauthentic or like disloyal to that person I was talking to. Even though we weren't like dating seriously, I just, I would feel bad because I'm starting to build this emotional connection with one person, and then I start to do with another. Now, I will say, talking to 6 people at once, if you can handle that, great. I've tried to do that. It's hard, and to be honest, other people not responding back to me has helped me weed out the people that don't give a shit. So, but my point is, don't feel bad if you're in like the courting stage. I don't call it dating, I call it courting. If you're in the courting stage where you're just getting to know someone and you're talking to them on the app, there is nothing wrong with talking to different people at the same time. They're not your boyfriend, they're not your girlfriend, you're not exclusive with them. And I guarantee you, especially if they're like a playboy, so the term is fuck boy, or fuck girl. If there's someone who has multiple people and they're like, chatting up a storm with each one of them, because some people do that, do not worry, like, do not feel obligated to talk to just one person. Because I hate to tell you, that one person, you might start talking to them and you might find out that they're like into taxidermy, or they like to hunt deer, or like, shoot deer for fun, or I don't know, something, whatever is a deal breaker for you, or, that they're into like swinging. I don't know, you never know. So my point is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Keep your options open. And then once you find somebody that you really do, or like 1 or 2 people you have good rapport with, narrow it down, and then focus on those connections, and then kind of form those, and keep those going and cultivate them. I will say now, if you do talk to several people at once and you're having all these conversations and you're telling them sweet nothings, basically like the same thing over and over again to every person, and you're flirting with them, I do think that is a little disingenuous, because you're not being authentic in your interactions. But if you're having really good conversations, thought-provoking intellectual conversations that are stimulating and reciprocal, that might be okay. But if you're sitting there like, hey baby, how cute you are today, or what's up girl, or like, you up, I'd love to see that ass, that kind of shit, yeah, that's not gonna fly with me. And I tolerated it a little bit too long with certain people, and then I realized I was like, I don't want this. So, and like I said, be mindful of groomers and traffickers. I'm not trying to scare you people, but like, they do exist. People will go on the apps and they will seek out men or women who they want to either groom for sexual favors or sexual, like, deviant experiences, or threesomes. I don't know how many times I've been asked by people, will you do a threesome? Are you bi? Like, literally, recently someone asked me this, I'm like, what? And me, I should have known right there. I should have been like, delete, and instead I gave him like the time of the day, and I'm like, no. Next time, if someone says, mind you, and on my profile I think I put straight, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm just going to be like, delete, block. So yeah, you're going to learn a lot about people, you're going to learn about psychology, you're going to learn how to have thick skin, you're going to enhance your communication skills, your interpersonal skills, flirting, seduction, all that. So I really am not like anti-dating apps. I just think you need to be dating app literate. Like, you know, when they say you're computer proficient or computer literate, it's the same thing. You want to know what you're getting into. So that's why I'm doing this video, because maybe you don't know what they're like. Maybe you're like an 18-year-old girl and you're like, you go away to college and you're like, I want to go on a dating app. I want to meet guys on my campus. Okay. Just be safe. You know, exercise caution. Try to use your mature your super ego brain, not your id brain, which is the pleasure-seeking part of you. So, yeah, hope that helps, and happy dating. And remember, life is a journey. There's no one way to do it. You're not going to get it right. Nobody's perfect, right? And even also the people you see that are on social media showing the highlight reels of their life, like their engagements and their weddings, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. They don't show you the other sides of what their life is like. Meanwhile, my dog is full posing over here. Full posing. So, yeah. It's a journey, and everyone's journey is different, and give yourself grace and just have fun with it. But also set boundaries. Don't be like me and like tolerate, if they say threesome and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. But if a guy is gonna try to push your boundaries like that and ask a question like that, that's a red flag. That the fact he's even presenting that to you shows you that he's not gonna really respect. He sees you as a piece of meat or a prize versus as a person, right? Because there's certain things in life, like, and I'm not trying to knock people that are extremely sex positive and they're like, they'll go sleep with whoever, but there has to be a certain level of tact and like class, I think. So, yeah. And you can call me old-fashioned and be like, she's so old-fashioned. I don't care. I know what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than I deserve. And neither should you. Deuces.